Good morning, Jeff Kelly with Traxxon Tractor Excavation. If I told you that you could save $200 every year spending just 15 minutes, would you do it? Of course you would. We're all in life to save money every area that we can. And I'm going to show you a hack today of how to keep your batteries operating for years, uh, basically maintenance free. And I'm going to show you that right now. When you have as many vehicles as I have, uh, I'm gonna count them real quick. I've got two 12-volt batteries on my dump trailer. I have a battery on my 1-ton truck right behind me, my work truck. I have another battery on an Avalanche. I have two batteries on two different mowers. I have a battery on my side by side. I have a battery in my wife's car, and it just goes on and on. So you add up those 15 minutes for all those various batteries, and you're talking about a fortune, because if you priced new batteries, they're about $200 a piece. So I'm going to estimate that of all the equipment I have, because I have a excavation company, my guess is it's easily attainable for me to spend $1,600 a year on batteries. It's not every year, but it accumulates. So let me show you a hack on how to save your batteries. This is my ELF 250. It's my heavy puller. It's the one I use to pull around my heavy equipment to clean parking lots, things like that during the snow and ice. I've already done this one for today. It's already got the battery protectant on it. This truck has two batteries. So I'm going to set this camera up to where you can see what I'm doing on this one so that I can give you the hack that you need. You do this once a year, you're probably good for 2 years. But I do it every year because between January and February of every year, I've got kind of a slow time. We're going to start by disconnecting the battery. And once we get the battery disconnected and everything's separated so it doesn't short out and hit us between the eyeballs, what I really like to say, because you've been zapped by electric, it's kind of rough. So we're going to pull this one off real quick. We're going to tuck it nice back here behind this so that it doesn't spring up. We're going to do the same thing with the negative side. I 100% believe in keeping things clean. And we're going to start by cleaning this battery because, I don't want anything to fall inside these cells when I take these caps off. What I'm using is a heavy-duty degreaser that I get from Harbor Freight. It comes in a gallon jug, and I think it makes like 70 gallons. Okay, this battery is nearly clean. We're getting ready to pop the top on this thing, and then we'll have to clean the surroundings underneath side of this. Now, when we started this, it comes out like 12. I'm not really worried about the voltage right now. It's not like I have a dead battery. I'm basically trying to maintain it so that I can get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 years out of it. I redid a battery that was from 1999. I redid that in 2016. It had like 8 votes on it. And there's a guy on YouTube, which, by the way, you can learn anything on YouTube. What this guy did, he basically shocked the system on that battery, and that's how I got the idea on this and started doing this every year. These things have plates inside of them, and when they get buildup in between them, because these batteries are always heating up, they're always recharging, and once those plates get cluttered up with sulfate built up in between those plates, your battery quits charging, you go to the store, and you pay $200. By doing this, you will get all that stuff out between the plates where it continues to charge. To have a battery that was that old and to get another 5 to 6 years out of it was huge. When you desulfate these batteries, you can expect to get a lot of extra life out of it just spending 15 minutes a year. I don't know that you even have to do it every year, but I do, because over the lifetime of battery purchases, it's pretty ridiculous to spend that type of money. Now, before we go any further, I want you to know a few things. This is for my purpose. I'm simply showing you how I keep my batteries alive. If for some reason you choose to do this upon yourself, I'm not responsible. This is how I do things. But please, please, if you do this, please use all of the proper precautions. Gloves, honestly, I need to be wearing sleeves, plastic sleeves, but I don't have them. But I do have face shields. I've got gloves, and I'm going to be extremely careful. So basically what you do first is you pop off these lids. You're going to see some dirt and grime under it. See there? On each one of them. All right. Hopefully I don't knock this camera off because it's kind of a booger to get it under here to begin with. All right. Let me see if I can show you what it looks like inside of it. Okay, what you are looking at inside that hole are the plates. You can see a little bit of buildup that one. You can see plates down in that one, plates in that one. But for the most part, these things are pretty clean. And there's a reason why they are clean. Because I keep that oxidation between the plates off of it. Because when you get that sulfate built up in between those plates, your battery's going to go dead. It's on its down cycle at that point. Okay, now what you see me adding into this is going to be distilled water. So when you looked at this a few minutes ago, you saw that it was low on water. Well, we're going to fill this up just above the plates because we don't want it bubbling over, and I'll show you what I mean by that here shortly. Never ever use anything but distilled water. All the minerals in the spring water, all the minerals that comes out of your tap water, they will kill a battery quicker than you would even imagine. And I'm going to show you how to shock this system. Man, it is cold and nasty here today, and we're supposed to get like 18 inches of snow this week, so another good reason for me to hit these batteries hard. Okay, I've got it filled up where we need it. This is the only equipment really you have to buy. You want to use this type of battery charger that has 200 amps or more, and because if you use the electronic ones, they will not work. They will not desulfate your battery. Okay, I've got the positive to positive and the negative to negative. So now we're ready to do the desulfation. I'm going to set this on start, 12 volt start, and I'm going to hit this for a few minutes. And you're going to see this bubble. Now, you need to be in a well ventilated area. See it bubbling? That's desulfating right now. And all of them are doing really good. This one seems to be a little slow, but we're going to hit this for about 2 or 3 minutes. But please be in a very well ventilated area because you don't want to suck in this gas. I'm going to run this for about 3 minutes. Like I said, this is only for maintenance purposes. It's not to try to bring it back to life. We're about 1.5 minutes in. I want to show you what it's doing. They're all bubbling about equal now, and it just shut off. So my timer worked, and we're going to run it through this one cycle. We're done with this. The preventative maintenance for this battery is done. We're basically going to reverse everything now and put this thing back together. This is probably the most enjoyable part for me because, again, 15 minutes, man, you're done. So we're going to use the same cap structure here. I usually always, well, let's say I do. Here it is. This one goes here. This one goes here. Tap it back on. Between the two batteries and 30 minutes of my time, I saved $400 because I'm good for another year to 2 years. Take care of them. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the behind, but when you have as many batteries as I do and you run a business, you try to cut corners where you can. And who wants downtime? I don't. All right, so now what I usually always try to do is clean the post super good. And I use it's kind of like PB Blaster, but this is for battery terminals. It's a cleaner and protector. So it's going to come out of here all yellow if I don't hit my hand. And you'll see where battery built battery acid is because of the fact that it'll turn to red. You're going to see some red areas on this here shortly. That's your acid. When that yellow turns to red, there's a problem, Lucy. So I usually just coat it really good and come back and clean it. You can see a little bit of red right here. On the positive side, I've done a really good job of keeping it clean this year, which that's pretty awesome because that's what is needed. I mean, you got to keep the acid off this stuff too, and you know this thing is just kind of done an amazing job of doing that. I'm a real believer in this that blaster product that cleans battery terminals, and also I think it's called Permatex, which is a battery protector and sealant. It's that purple stuff that you saw on the other battery that we've already completed. But now I'm just going to clean all this off, and we're going to put the post back together, and then we're good to go. We'll check the voltage, which shouldn't change any. It's still going to be, if I'm guessing, probably about 12.83 is what I'm guessing. I actually bought this truck 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and this dude kept extreme, and I do mean extreme, documentation on what all he's done to this truck, and which has been helpful for me because I can actually go in and I know what type of schedule he has, so I just set up my PM schedule around what he already did. So this is a battery protector, and I spray it after I clean them real good. You might want to cup your hands around it so that you don't get it all over your engine. So first we're going to put the positive one in its place. I'll make sure it's seated all the way down. We're going to coat the top of it so that we don't get as much erosion. Now we're going to put the negative in there. We're going to work it down. I'm going to cup it. All right, now we're ready to tighten it. You can't over tight those, by the way. People say you can't. You can. It's like anything, you can over torque it. I mean, we're only talking about lead here. So these lead acid batteries, this particular rebuild or revitalization, whatever you really want to call it, it's almost complete. So put the cover over it, and we're done. You know, I thought I would come over and have a little lunch, and while I was over, I just started thinking about, you know, Jeff, why do you spend all this time doing videos? You don't hardly have any subscribers, so why do you spend your time? Well, there's one reason and one reason only why I spend time making videos. I believe that God has given me a lot of gifts. I believe that He's given me gifts that can help other people. You know, sometimes the gifts that are given are from people that you've never even met. And I believe that this could be a case in that situation. With the price of everything being the way that it is, it can become very daunting for people who are struggling to get by day in, day out, every single day. And little tricks like this could help them. You know, it could be the difference between spending $200 for a new battery or putting food on the table. They're really put in a bad situation because, you know, if they don't have a way to get to work, they're going to spend that money on a battery, and they could risk not having food for their family. So
I hope you found this video helpful. Again, that's the way that I do things. That's the way that I revitalize my battery, and I'm just hopeful that it helps you. And somehow or other, I hope it helps you get through a hard time, because that's what we're here on this earth to do, is to help each other be successful, help each other with situations, and help each other love one another. And so this is my way of saying thank you for being part of my life. God bless you.